the top, well before the top of the hour. Guys, we give you picks every day here on the Drive-Thru Show. Today, a little different with the All-Star break. Makes it some NBA Summer League season win totals and more. So let's go ahead and let's get this, show you who's on the show with us here for today. Let's do that. We got Kirk Stuart with us. Waiting for Jovan to sign in. Joey Tron, David Racey. We're looking for Jay. We're looking for Brad. Here's how we'll sign up late line for this evening. Racey, Briggs, Francis, Burts, Stewart, Tron, and I will close this one out. All right, let's get underway here. We'll go ahead and welcome in David Racey. You'll find him over at Pick Dog Spring. We'll bring David in right now with this MLB future for you here on the show. I think we'll be set to go here in just a second. And here we go, David. David, what's happening?
Not much, Tony. Just enjoying a couple of light days here. I know it's kind of on the boring side, but we got to take advantage of it because once it picks back up, it won't stop again really till next July. So got to enjoy a couple slow days here.
Yeah, enjoy the slow days here as we've got them here. And of course, what we do during this time of the year is we look at season win totals, we look at team futures. So we'll have a potpourri of sports. But today you're going to be looking at a certain team to win the AL West.
Yeah, I'm looking at that AL West race here between Seattle and Houston, and I guess you can include Texas in that as well, as they're only 5 games back. But I like the Houston Astros to win the AL West. Depending on where you look, they're right about even money, right about that plus 100 spot. And they've really come on here over the last couple of months. They started the season pretty poorly. Pitching staff wasn't great, gave up a ton of runs. But you look at how they've played over the last 6 or 7 weeks, and they've been outstanding. The offense is hitting the ball very well. The pitching staff's coming along. And get help here from guys that are injured. You look at guys like Verlander, he'll be back. He's doing bullpen sessions. I don't believe he's gone out on a rehab assignment yet, but he should be back here in the next few weeks, which will really help that rotation. You look at Seattle, Seattle jumped out to that big lead in the AL West. I think it was 8 or 9 games at one point over Texas while Houston was really struggling. But Seattle really has came back to earth here. The offense is not hitting the ball very consistently. You see a lot of 3 runs or fewer for them. The pitching staff has been very good, and that's what's kept them in this and got them out to that big lead. And they are still currently leading by 1 game. But that offense is just brutal. You see them leave runners in scoring position all the time. I think it was the game Saturday I was watching. They left the bases loaded twice. They left second and third once. So they're just not getting it done offensively, and I think Houston's only going to get stronger. And I do think Texas could potentially make it a 3-team race, but they've just been so inconsistent. They're still 4 games below 500, so I'm not too concerned with them. But I think Houston at even money is a great pick given Seattle's recent struggles.
There you go, David, here on the Astros to win the AL West. Hard to argue that one. You'll find out why later in this one, as in this situation. But anyway, when you look at Houston, this is a team, as you said, getting issues with injuries early on. Verlander will be getting back here. They've got young stars in there as well, but of course they got hit with Garcia. Urquidy is someone who's on the 60-game list. Javier is another one. We'll see whether they're gone through Tommy John surgery, so they've been hit with injuries, but they've been able to get through here with their starting pitching, bullpen as well. So their hitting has been really on par this season.
Yeah, it has. And I mean, you look at a couple other guys that are going to get back too, and I forgot to mention this was Kyle Tucker. One of the best hitters in the American League. He's been out for a while. He's starting to play catch on the field, starting to get into that baseball activities. He should be back, I would say, within a month. Lance McCullers Jr., I know he's had an up and down career, but he could come back at the right time and make an impact. So, like I said, they're just going to get stronger, and offensively, they are hitting the ball very well, really over the last 7 weeks. They're scoring a ton of runs. Pitching staff's been great, and I don't see Seattle. I think this Seattle we're seeing right now is more true to what they actually are versus how they started. They just started so hot. But if you can't hit with runners in scoring position, you're going to have a really hard time, down in August and September trying to clinch a division.
No doubt about that. All right, David here on Astros to win the AL West. Even money here with this pick here today on the show. All right, David, let everybody know what you're going over at pick.com. I know light schedule here. It's going to be light throughout the week until we get to Baseball Friday. All-Star game. There'll be some WNBA up there as well. What do you have going on over at Pick Dodge Premium?
Yeah, nothing posted for tonight. I know we just got the home run derby. I do like Jose Ramirez as a dark horse there at plus 1,300. I think it's a ton of value on contest that really could go a number of different ways. I know Alonso's very good and has plenty of experience, but I do think Jose Ramirez at right around plus 1,300 is worth a look. But tomorrow I'll have one play in the All-Star game, and I do have my eye on one WNBA game, and then baseball will pick up here at the tail end of this week. It's been a good last 10 days for me or so in the MLB. Struggled on Sunday. Sunday was not a good day for me, but other than that, been a strong 10 days. I look forward to the second half of the season, and we're only a couple weeks away from the Hall of Fame game. So all good things, and I'm excited to get the second half of baseball underway.
That's right, guys. Get on board here with David Racey over at Pick Dogs Premium. You see the long-term pass, the way to go. Remember the promo Pick at Checkout will save you that 15% off, right? David, as always, great having your show. Have a great week. We'll catch up with you next week, but we can always catch up with your work in written form over on the sites.
Yep, over at Sports Chat Place or Pick Dogs, just head on over to the site, click on Free Pick, click on whatever sports you're looking for. We cover just about every single game and every single sport, so it's a great place to go if you're just looking for information, trends, or you just want to skip all the way to the bottom for the free pick. But in any case, head to the site and check it out.
All right, head to the site, check it out. David Racey at Pick Dog Sports Chat. All right, David, have a great week. We'll catch up with you next week.
All right, thank you, Tony. You have a good one.
As well. David Racey here on the Drive Thru. Let's continue here on the show. Let's see. I don't know if Jay or Brad have signed in yet, so if not, we're going to go right to Jovan here in a second. Let me take a look here at our cameras here. Camera 7 here. Nope, we don't got him in yet. So let's go ahead and let's go to Jovan Burts. Catch him over at Pick Dog Stream. We'll bring Jovan in with season win total. So we're not too far away from NFL preseason. College football not too far away. We've been seeing some of the press conferences, meeting the media here last week here. That will continue this week. So let's get him in here in just a second. I think let's go with Jovan. Jovan, what's happening? You're on mute there, Jovan. Let's see if we get Jovan here back in just a second here. He'll be looking at a season win total today from Michigan. Let's see if we can get his connection back to working here. Let's see here. Here we go.
Can you hear me now?
Can hear you now, Jovan. All right, season win total time. You'll be looking at a team here from the Big Ten. You'll be looking at Michigan.
Yeah, and I'm on the over at plus money. You know, it's just, I see why a lot of people, might be down on the Michigan Wolverines. They lost a lot of talent off this team, both to the NFL draft and through the portal. But, this is still the national champions. And you're going to tell me that at a flat 9, they're not going to get to 9 wins? I'm not buying it. Looking at their roster, they only have two starters back on their offense, but it's their running back. There's one of them. Oh, well, he's not a starter, but he's gotten significant playing time. So I look at him as a starter. So you could pencil him as another starter on their team. So I would say 3 returning starters if you're counting Donovan Edwards. And he's going to be a workhorse for this team. That's for damn sure. The question mark for me in this offense is Alex Orji. They say he's a Tim Tebow / Jalen Monroe type. They're saying he's dynamic. And if he's as dynamic as, some are saying, I think that they, go on a run in the beginning of this season. Their defense, even though they have 3 back, they have some talent on that team. They were deep last year, so it's next man up for the guys who weren't starters last year, to step up. And they're, the word is that they're gonna rival Iowa's, among the best defenses in the Big Ten, so they're gonna be a defensive heavy team, a running heavy team. This is Michigan. This is power football that we're talking about. So if you look at the schedule, which we have to do when we look at win totals, game number 1, it's going to be a tough one, but they're playing on Fresno State, and they'll get the win there. They might get pushed, but they'll get the win there. One of the question mark games is game, week 2 against Texas, but it's in the Big House. And can you really trust Texas on the road in early September. I'm not too sure about that. Maybe at home, but on the road, giving Sarkeesian and you know Quinn Ewers on the on the field, I'm not too sure you're gonna be able to trust them boys, in the big house. So I'm gonna pencil them in as as a win. Arkansas State win. USC, they're not ready. They're not ready for Big Ten football. They're not ready for the physicality. They have a lot of question marks over there in USC land. So I'm gonna count that as a win also. That's 4-0. You're dealing with Minnesota. Mm, maybe they'll step up, but again, Michigan has the benefit of them being at the big house in that game, so that's a win. You know, Washington, they lost a lot of talent on that team. They lost their head coach. So even though they're on the road, that's a win. Then they go into the bye. Coming out of the bye, then Illinois. That's a trap game. Illinois, I believe they'll have, they'll give some teams some headaches. So, but I think at the end of the day, they'll come into it, with a win. They might, even if they drop a game like that, you know, um, I don't think they'll drop that game, really, to be honest. The next game is always, a rivalry with MSU, but MSU, I don't believe they're ready yet. The tough game is going to be Oregon. Oregon, they're coming into this one. Dan Lanning, you already know what he brings to the table. They have Dylan Gabriel up there. That's going to be a tough game. It's going to be a hell of a game. But where's it at? It's at the big house. They got to another break there. It's not on the road. It's not a road game. You know, so let's count that as a loss. Let's just say that's a loss. We're dealing with 9 wins, ladies and gentlemen. So, let's count one of those, between them and Texas. Let's say that they go 1-1. So the next game, it's a trap game at Indiana. That could be a roadblock, stumble block. That's a game that Michigan needs if they're gonna cash this win total. But I'll give them. Let's say they drop that one as well. Let's say they go on a 2-game losing streak. You know, um, but I think that they win that one. So, going into, well, actually they have another week off. They have 2 weeks off. So after that, they have the benefit of playing Northwestern. At home, coming off another bye, and then that's another win. So let's say they have 1 or 2 wins, and let's just say they have 2 wins. I mean, 2 losses rather. And now they got to play the last game of the season, which is always Ohio State. In Ohio State, they have their own question marks. So for different reasons, but they they use that NIL money, kind of favorably over there. So, it's gonna be a battle. But I think at the end of the day, tops they have 3 losses, so that makes for a 9-3 record, and it's a push. I think for me personally, I think they're already at 10 wins going into the Ohio State game. So that you're already gonna cash. So I believe it's already a casher, with that Ohio State game, and this is gonna be a moot point. So whether they win or lose that game, so the over for me.
All right, Jovan says go over 9 wins Michigan season this year. Of course, remember the head coach had some experience. Remember Harbaugh did have that suspension, so he does have game time experience. So it's a kind of a unique situation here for Michigan coming into the year with their coach.
Yeah, Sharon Moore, he coached. He had coached 4 games last season, including 2 of the most pivotal ones, in Penn State and Ohio State. So he's been there when the bullets were flying. That experience is gonna push this team into this season because he knows what to do. He's not a guy that's that was on the sidelines with the head coach making all the decisions. He was the guy for a substantial portion of last year, so that's only gonna embolden this team in my book.
We saw this similar pattern last year with Michigan. They're starting the season here with five straight home games, and then they got that road game at Washington. That's something I always like to see, more road games before you start the conference.
Yeah, and fortunately for them, they have they're facing a Washington team who I think the covers kind of bare
Yeah.
up there over there. So they're fortunate. That's looking like a favorable schedule if you ask me. And I just gave out play spots where it could be some trouble, but I think for the most part they're gonna come through relatively unscathed in the schedule. It's a favorable schedule if you really look at it, given all the question marks with the other teams that they are facing.
Yeah, it is fairly favorable for them here. Getting Texas at home, that USC game. You just have to manage the speed of the Trojans, because they always have a lot of fast players. But again, where the Trojans suffer is they don't have the strongest linemen. That's really what it comes down to.
Yeah, I mean, listen, this is Big Ten football is big boy football. A lot of physicality. And it had USC went to a conference like, say, the Big 12. Maybe you could say they would excel, but I think they're gonna have to get some of those Big Ten type players in the trenches, over there to be able to maintain. It's gonna take a couple seasons for the Trojans to get into that type of play, or at least be a hybrid.
I think going to the Big Ten is going to help USC a lot, because that's where they've lacked over the years. They've been trying to get by on their speed and athleticism. But when you go back and look at the history of the Trojans, go back to the 70s, 80s, 90s with Carroll, it's always been their offensive line.
Yeah.
And those are the first round picks that would go. You'd always have two Trojans go in the first round in those drafts from the offensive line.
That's why they, for decades they were a running back factory, based on their offensive line and the talent at the running back position. But, for sure it goes hand in hand, with a running back and an offensive line. So if you have, some big hogs over there, pushing the table, I'll say to push the table or push the scrum or whatever, then, you're gonna win ball games. But that's not now. This is maybe the next couple seasons after this one, you'll start to see USC, get more physical, get more bulky in the trenches, especially on the offensive line side. You're right.
Yeah, they're gonna
Because
have
now
to.
they have that. Now they have that. They have that access to Big Ten recruits that they weren't getting, in years past.
And sometimes you get fooled by playing some of the softer Pac-12 defenses back in the day.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's going to be an adjustment with that particular team, But I think this year they're going to go through some growing pains. I believe.
Yeah, no doubt about that. There with Jovan here on Michigan season win total over 9 plus 115. Jovan, I know it's kind of a light day. We're getting WNBA back here next couple of days. I'll let everybody know what you're going on over at Pick Dogs Premium.
Yeah, well, nothing right now, but taking this time to refresh, reset, for the second half of the baseball season. Second half of MLB is usually when I start to come alive. It's been no in betweens for me. It's been hot and cold. I've gone on monster runs in MLB this season, and I've gone on some cold runs. So looking to lay the game plan down. Look at each and every team individually. What they have, in store for the second half of the season. Who's the buyers? Who's the sellers? Things like that. Going into the trade deadline. That's always key. So, just that WNBA. WNBA has been kind of funny lately because you have these games where teams have been coming out on fire for either a half or 3 quarters and then just fall off the face of this earth in the fourth quarter. You've seen it over like the last week and a half, 2 weeks, in a few spots, and it seems like I've been on every last one of those spots. So looking for a little reset there. Not get too heavy into the W. We're just in that type. Well, they're gonna go on their break also.
Yeah.
So so it's gonna be well by the time they get on their break, the MLB back in full swing. So I'll be on a couple. I'll be on a couple key plays in the W this week. But other than that, this is just a time to reset. And do some of your research for college football and the NFL. For me myself, it's college football first, and then we get into NFL. But NFL's a 12 month, all year round type of sport. So never too far off, you know, have keeping the eye on what's going on in the NFL, all the moves that goes on there. Training camp has already begun for some teams, at least for the rookies. So I think this week, going into this week and next week, that's when you're gonna see these training camps opening up. So, you know, got to keep your eyes on it because it's gonna be another hell of a season.
Yeah, and that's the other thing you have with the NFL is you got some preseason games. Even though they're meaningless, you do get at least a peek of the team. And you get those camp reports. The information is you get a lot of information there from during NFL preseasons, from the camps or the networks. Whereas with college football, you have to do a little bit more digging on your own.
Absolutely, that's because the information isn't always there with college football. That's for damn sure. NFL's king around here, all over the land, and they're reporting on something on some team somewhere all year round in the NFL. So that's really the difference between college football and the NFL. Because college football, even though they're starting to get into these mega divisions, these mega conferences, it's still a regional sport. So it's hard to get information on, let's say Louisiana Monroe.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Good luck.
Or a Louisiana Tech or something. So you're barely gonna get the surface information, from those teams. You got to do some real digging. You have to read a lot of different articles from obscure publications. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's harder. It's just definitely more difficult to get information, and it's a lot of teams.
Yeah.
In college football. So
and also too, what we've seen with the schedule, right? The MAC is usually the midweek team in the second half of the year, but we've seen something change here. The first half of the year, we saw that we're getting all these Tuesday, Wednesday Conference USA games, and trust me, man, at the end of the year, we all become Conference USA experts because on those Tuesday, Wednesday games, we're just looking at these Jacksonville States, we're looking at these New Mexico
Right.
States, we're looking at all these Conference USA. So we have to really put our work into Conference USA because those games come on early in the season during the midweek.
yeah, absolutely. But it creates more opportunities to make some money.
Yeah.
So I'm all for it. I like the fact that whoever the schedule makers are for these conferences, I like what they're doing because it's giving us better chances throughout the week. It's not just a Saturday sport or Saturday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday sport, depending on what conference. You're getting damn near every day of the week nowadays. Nowadays. So hey, I like it.
Oh yeah, I think it's great here, because you're looking at these Conference USA teams, FIU, Jacksonville State, Kennesaw State comes in this year, and so that's a team we got to learn about. Liberty, Louisiana Tech, Middle Tennessee State, New Mexico State, Sam Houston. Remember Sam Houston? This is the team that couldn't cover for their lives. I mean, UTEP, another one, Western Kentucky. So these teams we knew a lot about last year. We're going to have to know a lot about them again this year because we're going to get these games on Tuesday and Wednesday.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. And Kennesaw State's coming into this thing. They're a good team. At least they were in FCS as far as what I remember. So yeah, it's another opportunity, to make some money, be on some dogs. That's what I like to do. I like to be on some dogs whenever I see a glitch in the system. You know what I mean? So yeah. Ready to go.
Ready to roll here. We got to get our work to work here on this college football because it comes up here in about a month, a little more than a month and a half here. So lots happening here in the college football landscape. So there you go. So get up on board with Jovan. The long-term passes up there up there. All right, Jovan, as always, great having you show. Have a great night. We'll catch up with you at the end of the week. Fortunately, when you return, we'll have baseball. We'll have some games to talk about. And of course, I know you'll be ready to roll here with those parlay videos.
Yeah, absolutely. Ready to rock. for the second half of baseball season with those parlay videos, and I'll have a free pick on Friday.
There you go. Jovan, have a great night. We'll catch up with you Friday.
Absolutely. Have a great night. I wish we could win if there was something out there. Well, if you want to roll with the home run derby, have at it. So I'm taking the night off.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you. All right, Joe. Have a great night.
Yeah. Hopefully, if you're betting the home run derby win, and see you on Friday.
I'll see you on Friday, or maybe you might hit the poker room tonight. It might be a good night to play poker.
Yeah. Poker's kind of slow for me. I'm more into blackjack. Where it's a way to either lose your money fast or win your money fast. So
that's right.
But I might want to sit down for a little while, and play bully poker.
There you go. That might be the way to roll. All right, Jovan, have a good night at the tables. We'll catch up with you again Friday.
Absolutely.
All right, Jovan here on the drive through. Let's continue here on the show, guys. This is the tournament. It's a little bit of potpourri today here during the All-Star break. Well, got some NBA Summer League from Kirk. We're gonna get that coverage next. Catch him over at Pick Dodge Brim. We'll bring Kirk Stuart in right now. I know he did a lot of work here on the site during the soccer tournaments that just completed here. What wildness here in that Copa America. But hey, we see wildness in soccer all over the world. Why can't it happen here in the U.S., right? So we'll bring him in here in just a second. I have to get my board set here again to bring him in. NBA Summer League will be covered here. Late game tonight between the Celtics and the Lakers. I think I just read that Castleton will miss the remainder here of the Summer League. We mentioned that last week to keep an eye on these injuries or some of these young stars who I know it's a risk issue there with Castleton, but some of these young stars may play just a game or two, but you got to keep an eye on those rosters. Kirk, what's happening?
Not much. How are we doing?
Doing great. All right, here we go. NBA Summer League. This will be on ESPN Plus tonight. Celtics and Lakers head to head here. We see the Celtics here are favorite here. 7.5 total sits 186.5.
Yeah, I mean, as I said it on Friday, I think during the drive-through, I think the Lakers might have the worst summer league team in the NBA right now. And Celtics actually sported a pretty good lineup. They scored 114 points in their first game against a team in the Miami Heat that put up 119. So I think the Miami Heat might have the best player in the Summer League in Jaime Jaquez Jr. I mean, he showed what he could do in the playoffs and throughout the whole season, really, when different guys for the Heat went down. So he's one of the best players in the Summer League. But the Celtics have a really, really strong Summer League team. They have Jaden Springer. They have Neemias Queta. They have Bailey Shireman, their first-round pick, who looked pretty good in their first game, 3 for 7 from three-point land. Jordan Walsh, J.D. Davis, and Drew Patterson. So these are guys that were really already on the Celtics roster if they didn't play a lot during their finals run. But they were getting in the reps with all those guys that were playing. And Jaden Springer, before he came to the Celtics, played actually a decent amount for Philly. And, yeah, these are guys that can actually play. And as we said, I mean, the Lakers just – no one on that team. Connect finally got going a little bit last game, but – I think the Celtics are going to blow them out. I mean, the Lakers just not a good team for the Summer League. So this line started at 6.5. It's already risen to 7.5. So Celtics minus 7.5. If you can find better, take it. But 7.5 is what I'm finding right now.
All right, Kirk, continue here with the Celtics here laying the 7.5 against this Laker team, which has just been a disappointment. Again, a team that really has their issues shooting the basketball. Connect had a good game the other night, but for the most part, it's just been really, really disappointing for this Lakers team.
Yeah, I mean, I can't really – you can just really look at the box score. I mean, Bronny went 0 of 8 from three-point land, and no one except for Connect had a good game. Even if Bronny has a decent game, I still think they're going to lose by 10, 15. I mean, the Celtics always have a pretty decent Summer League team, I want to say. I mean, like, Pritchard was on it a couple years ago. And always a fun team to watch here. I wish I watched that first game against the Heat. I couldn't watch it, but I went back and watched the highlights. That was a fun Summer League game with 233 total points. But this one I'm not expecting to be as close.
You know, Hawkins is another one of those players that you may just see for, I would think, probably for just 2 games, right? They don't usually, again, some of these second-year guys, some of the first-round picks, they don't usually play them the whole league here. But to Hawkins, there you'd expect him in the lineup tonight, probably getting at least a couple games in at least.
Yeah, Hawkins is already playing against the Thunder. I think it started at 6. I think He already has like 7 points mid-second, so
Yeah.
he's picking up where he left off. And yeah, I expect him, maybe Brandon Miller to get shut down after a couple games. See if Cam Whitmore gets shut down. I know he loves the Summer League, was last year's MVP, had 25 points last game, and he's going for that second straight Summer League MVP. I don't think he wants to get shut down. He loves playing, loves shooting the ball. So I think the Rockets, they keep him on the court. I think they have a good chance to win this whole Summer League.
Well, Kenneth was on the roster last year, right? He suffered through some injuries for the Celtics, but last game came in pretty good, 9 of 15, 20 points.
Yeah.
Yep, there we go. So there we go here with Kirk on the Celtics here laying 7.5. Other than the teams we've mentioned here, any other teams that caught your attention this Summer League? Because there's a lot of them playing here. I think pretty much all of them.
Yeah. It's as you said, it's hard to really predict a winner for the teams. Just like I thought the Jazz were the best team going in. Keontae George hasn't seen the court yet in the Vegas Summer League, so stuff like that really comes around. I do like how Zach Edey's actually been playing throughout the whole course of the different summer leagues. I think he won't probably play much more, so it's really, really tough. I think the rookies like Reed Shepherd will probably play the whole summer league, and it's good exposure. But yeah, it's so tough to say when you don't know who's going to be out there for any certain team on any given day, really. So I can't really put anything out there right now.
When they're trying to put together rosters, they got to fill the bench. They got to fill the and they make some, to get guys to sign with these teams, they do make some concessions to them. Hey, you'll see some time usually at the back end of the schedule. Because remember, they're not really, some of these guys aren't really playing for NBA contracts. So I've been to summer leagues. There's a lot of European scouts, and especially you see them a lot toward the final games there of the summer league. You see their team called Real Madrid. I thought the Greek team that just I don't even want to say it because I'll butcher the name. But I think what you see here, they do make some concessions to fill the roster with some of these guys. So at the end of the summer league, you're going to see a lot of their bench guys get to play because they're really what they're doing is they're playing for European contracts.
Yeah, no, exactly. I mean, you get to see. That's why I think the first and last weekend are really the most fun parts of summer league. If you're going there as a fan, you're in the finals. Usually, you're going to get all the good players playing. In the first weekend, you get to see all those good rookie second-year players. But yeah, as you said, it like middle of the summer league, when games don't really matter, you're already at a playoff contention per se. It's really to secure those contracts overseas. And yeah, there's a ton of scouts there, all from Australia, pretty much all over the world, really.
Yeah, they're all over the world. And you'd even see them in a phone. They just stand there on the phone trying to sign players, talking to their team presidents. You'll see. It's interesting to see how they're if they really like a player, they target them. They're getting concessions from the president to let's get a contract for these. I mean, you see it. You can see. I mean, if they're like me, nosy, and you see these guys, they come in here with their team color. You know where they're from. They want to be seen. By the way, a lot of these scouts or some of these general managers from some of these overseas teams. Well, you've seen it over there.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's definitely, as you said, it's basically like the Olympics for basketball. Everyone from everywhere is coming to see all these young players, and most of them, I feel like they end up with a contract, whether it be NBA, G League, or if they go overseas. So if you're getting invited to that, you're usually in a pretty good place to at least play professionally somewhere, I'd say.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Showcasing a lot of these guys that you see on the bench. I mean, there's 15, and there's a lot of guys on these rosters. And of course, to fill the rosters, you got to make some concessions to these guys to give them some playing time. And usually get it toward the end of the summer league. That's why you see a lot of these guys get shut down. And that's why it's really a tricky handicap as you move forward here, Kirk, as we move forward with the summer league.
Yeah, no, it definitely is tricky. But the Lakers haven't been tricky in this summer league, so that's why. Friday I had the under in that game, that cash, so staying consistent with this one.
All right, there we go. Summer League here, games around the clock. We got a live game, Detroit-Houston on NBA TV. Of course, a lot of teams in this Summer League, so you get probably 7 to 8 games a day. And then, of course, it'll go. We got another week of this. All right, Kirk here on the Celtics laying the 7.5 here against the Lakers. All right, Kirk, let everybody know what's going over at Pick Dog Spring. We just completed the soccer European and the Euros as well as the Copa, so we'll be looking forward to it. I think we're going to have a lot of these friendlies. We see a lot of these teams from Europe play against the U.S. teams. Sometimes we see them play against MLS friendlies. The MLS still will be in play here. We're going over Pick Dogs Premium.
Yeah, no, I've actually been really hot, and it's sad to say that MLB and soccer are all done, as I ended the season really hot in soccer. I went 2 or 3-1 in my plays yesterday for Copa and Euros, and yeah, I've been really hot in MLB, as you can see over on the site. I think I'm 16-9 my last 25, so really starting to heat up there. And yeah, I'm not too into MLS. I need to get more into it. I don't know if I will this year. And the friendlies, it's kind of like Summer League. You don't know who's really going to play. Half the team gets subbed at halftime usually just to get everyone some minutes in the preseason tour. So I usually stay away from those games. But I got a WNBA game or a play already up for tomorrow, so make sure to hop on board with that. And then, yeah, when we're back in the swing of things Friday, probably hop on a 3-day or something and get my picks for the weekend.
There you guys got on board Kirk Stuart over at Pick Dogs. Great results the last 7 days. WNBA up there on the board for tomorrow, so get on board. All right, Kirk, as always, great having your show. Have a great night. We'll catch up with you later in the week, but we can always catch your video series over at Pick Dogs. I know when we get back to baseball, you got a totals of video series, and you and Goran put together soccer as well.
Yep, that's right. Me and Goran put together soccer videos, so those will be – I don't think we'll be doing any of those friendlies, as it's just too – difficult really to say who's going to play how many minutes and what, but the domestic leagues start up in less than a month, which is crazy. Like Man City reported to preseason training today when the Euros and Copa just ended yesterday. It's insane. So it's really right around the corner, and we'll have those videos out for you. And yeah, once MLB's back on Friday, I have my MLB totals video where I go over under on a couple games, and then yeah, we try to cash that 2-team parlay, and that's been hitting decent, I'd say.
I know we don't document here on the show, but I know if you've been covering any of the Olympic soccer, because I know it's huge around the world.
Yeah, it's also a little bit tougher because you really have to do a lot of digging, because you're only allowed to have 3 players that are over 23 on the Olympic roster. So I definitely will cover Olympic basketball, but Olympic soccer, I just kind of need to see who each team is bringing, and then maybe dig in. Maybe I'll have a couple plays, but not thinking about too much in that.
Too many prospects in there. So you got some three of your top flight players that play in the big leagues. Then you got some prospects that join them as well. That's how it works.
Yep.
All right, Kirk. Have yourself a great evening, and we'll catch up with you on Wednesday or Friday.
Sounds good. Have a good one.
You got Kirk here on the drive-through. All right, let's continue. Right, but Kirk is here on Friday. Am I right? Monday, Friday.
Yeah, Friday.
That's right, Friday. That's what I got. All right, Kirk here on the drive-through. All right, let's continue here on the show, guys. We're going to go ahead and welcome in. We got some NFL. We got an NFL season win total from Joey Tron. You'll catch him over at Pick Dogs Premium. Of course, he got us started with the football coverage here with his, I believe he had the Wisconsin pick, but we're going to come here with the NFL. Joey, what's happening?
Hey, Tony, how you doing today?
Doing great. All-star break. It's time to start looking at football, man. Time to get those publications out, get ready to roll. And I made a note here, study Conference USA. I put that was my big note here to start the year, because we were sitting these Jacksonville States, we were seeing these FIUs on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, and I made a note to make sure I know these. And Kennesaw State, I got to make note that I know these teams, because we're going to cover them every week, pretty much.
Oh yeah, I got College Football 25 downloaded in the background of my Xbox, so I'm ready to go. It's
He's ready to roll.
It's gonna be a fun night.
There you go. Start the get the Sims going. All right, here we go. NFL around the corner, training camp around the corner, and you'll be looking at the Colts here.
Yeah, so I'm looking at the Colts to make the playoffs here. I found a good price at plus 140 over on DraftKings. I really think this is a good spot for them. They're returning Anthony Richardson. His rookie season was cut short, but they're returning Jonathan Taylor, which is no doubt going to help out Anthony Richardson with running the ball as well. They're returning star wide receiver Michael Pittman Jr., who is no doubt going to bolster this offense. Defensively, they're returning interior duos in Grover Stewart and DeFoster Buckner, which will no doubt be a threat to the pass rush. Their line is definitely improving. They added Laiti Latu from UCLA, and he's definitely going to be a force to reckon with, adding to that interior duo of Stewart and DeForest Buckner. They had the 19th toughest schedule out of 32 teams, which definitely isn't the best, but there's a few key games that they got to win in order to make the playoffs. 3 home games they have against Chicago, Pittsburgh, and the Titans. And then 5 road games, the Titans, the Vikings, the Pats, the Broncos, and the Giants. If they can get those 8 wins and straggle in maybe 3 more, I really think they can get in as a wild card team.
There we go. Joey looking at getting a wild card to make the playoffs here at plus 138. Remember, they've added that extra wild card team in there to make it a little easier. Of course, they're going to be tested right off the bat here, right? Opening up with the Texans and then going to the Green Bay here to start the season. Pretty tough. Texans was the biggest surprise of the year last year.
Yeah, no doubt. And I'm not going to say the Texans got lucky last season because I think C.J. Stroud is a phenomenal quarterback. But I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm a Titans fan. Just going to be straight up. I'm a Titans fan. I watch this division often, and the Texans are the Texans, and I don't know. I don't know if I can trust them after one big season like that.
Yeah, and of course, they're on everybody's radar now, right? This is the team that we're
exactly.
Now. Yeah.
Everyone's looking at them. They're going to be a pretty favorite public team. Everyone's going to try to back them, and I don't know. I think the Colts really make the playoffs here. I think they have a very fast team. I think they're smart. I really like Jonathan Taylor, Michael Pittman, Anthony Richardson can really move the ball downfield. The Colts can definitely make some noise this year.
What do you see them going against the division? You got your 6 divisional games, 2 against the Jags, 2 against the Texans, 2 against the Titans. What do you see them in the division?
4-2.
4-2. That's what you need. Yeah, 4-2 will put you in a sweet spot.
I think they take both against my Titans, 2-0.
Wow. Yeah,
and then,
Titans.
Yeah, they suck, man. I'm sorry, but they're so bad. I think they take both against the Titans. I think they'll split against Houston. That puts you at 3-1. And then you just gotta hopefully just win one against Jacksonville.
NFC North. You got the NFC. Of course, you got the NFC North this year, right? So you got the. That's a tough draw there, right? Because you've got the Packers. We talked about Vikings. We'll see what they become, what they're going to be. Lions is everybody's rising stars. Bears. You're looking at going 4-4 in those games.
Yeah, I think they split that. I think they can beat Chicago, and I think they can beat Minnesota, but Detroit and Green Bay might be tough for them.
The extra game in the NFC, they'll be at the Giants. A little breather there.
You said against the Giants? Yeah, Giants are trash. I'm from New Jersey. I grew up right down from MetLife Stadium. I don't know. Outside of those 2 crazy lucky catches, I've never heard anything else outside of the New York Giants.
Okay, and your 4 AFC opponents, you're going to be facing the AFC East. That's also tough there with the Bills in there, the Dolphins. Of course, we'll see what the Jets, what they'll be this year. Of course, right? You got the Jets, Dolphins, Patriots in there, so you're going to get 4 against the AFC East this year.
The good thing about them playing the Jets is it's 3 games right before their bye week, and then the Patriots are right before the bye week. I don't know. Maybe they'll get lucky. They might not have Aaron Rodgers at quarterback, and they can sneak out a win. But I think if they have a full healthy roster, the Jets, I think the Colts go 1-3 there and only pick up a win against the Patriots.
The extra game here in the AFC will be against the Steelers. So that's the extra game there, but you get them at home.
Yeah, they're at home. They should win that one this week 4 pretty early on. They have back-to-back home games there, Chicago and Pittsburgh. They can definitely win both of those there.
Now, something that's become an issue here is, of course, with this 17-game schedule is how many. What's the home and road? Is there 9 home or 8 home? That's something to keep an eye on, right?
They have 8 home.
8 home. Okay, 8 home for the Colts. I guess if you have 8 home, you're not going to get that overseas game. So
yeah, no.
Sometimes that evens out.
Good thing for them is two out of the 3 last games they have are home. Tennessee at the Giants, and then home against Jacksonville.
Yeah, and that game could be meaningful on January 5th. There, that one there. Again, that Giant game is. You got downtown. Also, the Broncos. Going to the. You actually at the end of the season, people are. After the Lions game, it's Patriots, Broncos, Titans, Giants, Jaguars. And those, what I've read, people are saying the Broncos are going to fall off the ship. Patriots probably head that direction as well. So you might have like a real laugher down the stretch. Patriots, Broncos, Titans, Giants before you get to the Jags.
Yeah, right after the bye week, like you said, you got 3 teams right there that might not even be close to being in playoff contention. So they might not even have any of their real key starters playing. So like you said, those 4 games down the stretch, you go 3-1 right there. You're in good business.
Yeah, and we'll see how these teams rest starters, sit guys. I know tanking isn't so much. We see it a little bit, but not a lot in the NFL. But who knows, right? Who knows now what's going on? The way the league looks. Okay, so looking for the Colts here to make the playoffs. Coach Richardson was impressive, but again, with Richardson's style of play, that's going to be the big key to keep him on the field for the entire season. is just stay away from trying to break through these lines.
Yeah, he's just got to learn when to go down. It's not college anymore. You're not just going to break through a line because some scrawny little freshman is playing. These are grown ass men who are 300-pound linemen who will stop you. So just got to learn when to go down. And if you can do that and find Michael Pittman open, I'm telling you, this can be dangerous.
Yeah, that's the key. They just got to keep him healthy. He did show some promise. I mean, he caught a lot of people by surprise. He gave the Rams a tough game there. That was a comeback. I remember that last year.
Mm-hmm. No doubt. And again, I'm right out here in Indianapolis, so it'll definitely be fun to watch to see how Anthony Richardson does coming back from that injury. I know it's not a true rookie season. He did start last season, but I think in terms of completing a full season, it'll be very nice to see how he does.
And I will say this, I do like that when you make the Latu pick here from UCLA, that edge rusher, that's someone who can just play right off the bat,
Oh, no doubt. He's really going to add a lot of fire to that line that the Colts already have. So
yeah,
definitely going to watch out for that rush offense and pass defense coming out of that line from the Colts.
Yeah, keep an eye. That's a massive draft pick there that he fell that far. Now, of course, everyone's talking about the quarterback, but some may say the edge rusher could just, the quarterback could have the most impact in a game. Maybe the second one, you say maybe even an edge rusher.
Yeah, and I really think defense is important, especially with the Colts. Getting the ball in the hands of their offense will be no doubt important, and keeping them well rested is super important. So adding to their defense, especially during this offseason, was vital for them.
Yeah. I always like those good defensive teams that play in domes. It just seems that they get that big kick from the fans because of a lot of the noise factor in there.
Mm-hmm. It's so weird the way Lucas Oil is. Like, some days they'll have the roof open, some days they won't. Like last season, I went to a game. It was actually the Titans-Colts game. It was so damn cold. It was the coldest game of the season. Roof was open. I'm like, what are you doing? Next week, it was like 80 degrees. Roof is closed. Like, okay, no problem. I don't get it. But it's really weird how they do it with that roof at Lucas Oil.
Oh, yeah. I think they need to measure the crowd factor and say, listen, man, we've got a top-tier defense. That roof stays closed, man. I don't want the noise escaping the stadium. I don't want it doing that. We'll see how that rolls. But anyway, we got to Joey on the Colts to make the playoffs at plus money. All right, Joey, let's take a look over at Pick Dodge Premium. Of course, it's slow this right now with the baseball, the All-Star break. WNBA tips off again tomorrow. What do you have going over at Pick Dodge Premium?
Yeah, so tonight's a quiet night. I really like Bobby Wood Jr. to win the home run derby tonight, but outside of that, pretty quiet for me. I'm looking forward to WNBA tomorrow. As you can see, I'm doing pretty well, so I'll definitely have at least 2 or 3 plays up for the WNBA's card tomorrow.
All right, guys, check out Joey Tron over at Pick Dodge Premium. See the great results in WNBA with WNBA back in action tomorrow. And get on board and keep an eye on those long-term passes. Your best value, the promo code PICK at checkout will save you that 15% off. Right, Joey? It's always great having you on the show. Have a great night. We'll catch up with you. We've got to do this again Wednesday. So we'll find another season win total as we wait for baseball to come back Friday. Maybe there'll be some W up there on the board. But, of course, you also have your NASCAR series up at the site.
Yeah, of course. This Sunday is an exciting race. They'll be returning to Indianapolis Motor Speedway for Brickyard 400. I'll be there, so I'm really looking forward to it. They're returning to the Oval for the first time in 3 years, and it's also the 40th anniversary, so it's really going to be a fun time down at the track. You can catch my video sometime Friday morning. Check it out, like and subscribe, and you'll be notified as soon as it drops.
That's right. Like, subscribe, set notifications so you're notified when Joey drops his NASCAR video. All right, Joey, have a great rest of the week. We'll catch up with you on Wednesday.
Thanks, Tony. Enjoy the home run derby tonight.
You as well. Joey Tron here on the Drive Thru. Let's continue here on the show. We'll do a recap in just a minute. Then we'll get to my pick, and then we will let you go for Monday's action. I'd like to thank everybody for joining us today. I know it's a slow day, but we're going to produce a show and produce the best qualities that we can. And I think we've done that today here on the Drive Thru. All right, let's get to my pick here. We're going to look at, I said it was going to have a familiar tune to it, right? That's why not. Let's take the Astros to win the ALCS at plus $7. Like what I'm seeing from the pitching staff, like what I'm seeing from their hitting, the bullpen as well. This is a team that's definitely on the rise, and we'll take them here to win the ALCS here at 7-1. All right, I'm going to go Tescar. I'm going to go homer pick here. Tescar Hernandez to win the home run derby, 13-1. Why not, right? I'm going to look for Alonso's already won this plenty of times. So let's go with Teoscar Hernandez, 13-1 to win the home run derby. All right, guys, check out me out over at Pigs.com. Get on board with my long-term passes. I have a 3-7, 3-8 pass, also a 1-year all-sport pass. We'll get all of my premium plays for the year because we got college football, NFL coming up. Of course, the major sports like NBA, college football, remainder here of Major League Baseball for this year, start of next year on that 1 year all sports pass. Remember the promo code PICKET, check out, you'll save that 15% off. All right, you guys have any picks for the home run derby? Put them in right now in the chat and we'll read them off. Or if you have any picks in general, any season win totals you guys like from the NFL or college football, put them in and we'll read them here on the show. All right, let's get to the recap here for today's show. All right, David was on Astros to win AL West at even money. Jovan liked Michigan season win total over nine games. 9 wins. Kirk on the Celtics laid the 7.5 against the Lakers. Joey on the Colts to make playoffs plus 138. I'll take the Astros to win the ALCS at 7-1. All right, that's gonna do it for this edition here of the Drive Thru. We'll be back again tomorrow live at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Do it all over again. Bring our cappers from Big Dogs and Sports Chat Place. Look at their plays for you there in real time. Remember to always hit start with that morning show. We're live here on the show. So I got Jovan in there with me. All right, let me put it here on the screen. We'll be back here tomorrow live at 6 p.m. Eastern Time, bringing our cappers from Big Dogs and Sports Chat Place. They give out their plays for in real time. Remember to always, the morning shows we talked about. Also, keep an eye on Mitch's 7 picks in 5 minutes. His betting tool show is roundtable discussion with professionals. We also have WNBA sessions, a jam session with both Chris and Jay. Ron Romano with his Major League Baseball rundown. We just heard from Joey with his NASCAR video series. Kirk coming in with soccer as well as his MLB totals play for you. Jovan with his parlay pick videos. Brad with his Nerfies shorts as well. So guys, make sure you like, subscribe, and set those notifications. Get notified when all these videos drop here on Pick Dog YouTube channel, and that'll roll. All right, let's give you our play today. Comes from Lando 86. Likes the longest homer to be Ozuna at plus $3. Ozuna, longest home run, Ozuna plus $3. All right, that's Lando 86. Also, Justin 1890 likes Justin Witt over Pete Alonso, 13-1 there, plus $13 there from Justin 1890. That's our pick here from the chat for today. Appreciate everybody for joining us today. All right, that's going to do it. Let's go ahead and bring in our crew from that. We'll wait. You guys have a great afternoon.